We're talking about an underwater research lab. Astronauts average 6 months on the International Space Station. A nuclear submarine mission is closer to 3 months. And if you want to explore, research, and sleep underwater, you've got about 10 days. We're gonna talk about the only underwater research lab in operation today. No secret agent stuff that we know of, but underwater habitats date back to the 1950s. The US Navy was thinking about saturation diving, a concept that massively extends the depth and time that a diver can be underwater. A few years later, in 1964, Sea Lab 1 was lowered to a depth of 192 feet off of Bermuda. And today, we have the Aquarius Reef Base. Just off the Florida Keys, Aquarius sits 60 feet underwater and is next to an active reef. But operating since 1993, Aquarius itself basically is a reef. Oceanographers, marine biologists, all sorts of scientists, even NASA and the Navy are operating missions out of Aquarius. Aquarius accommodates up to 6 people and can do so for about 10 days. And what that means is hours on end of diving. That's because pressurization and this idea of saturation diving, where you're evening out your body pressure for the depth you're at. You don't have to decompress each time you're diving, just once when you return finally after your mission length. So if you're comparing that 1 hour of diving off a boat, maybe once in a while, with endless hours of diving for up to a week, you have to imagine how much that research compounds. Let's talk about that research really quick. The perfect reef-like habitat that Aquarius is makes coral restoration and investigation such an important part of the research. They may be manipulating how herbivores, coral-eating fish, and other animals are deterred by various types of coral composition. They can also impact and measure sharks, for example, and how they may impact healthy and active coral reefs. I mentioned NASA. Underwater is so close to space in many regards that is a hotbed for training and simulating that environment. So the close quarters of the Aquarius unit may exactly be similar to what they have up in the International Space Station. Not to mention, they can practice similar moves like spacewalks, and the Navy continues its saturation diving research, being a pretty big user of this base. The ocean comprises over 70% of Earth. The deepest parts of the ocean are deeper than Everest is tall. Pressure we can't withstand, oxygen we cannot process. So much is left unknown. Decades old, the Aquarius gives us a glimpse into how we can extend our research, live really amongst the reef and amongst so much of the activity there, and hopefully chart much more of a future into understanding our oceans, especially those surrounding our immediate coast. That's all for this video. Be sure to stay tuned as we look and explore many more awesome things about our ocean.